welcome back to Origami Snowman. My name is Matt. Okay, I'm sorry. I know I said I was going to speedrun some of these, but I don't need to speedrun everything. Let me start over. Welcome to Origami Snowman. My name is Matt. How was that? Was that pretty good? Yeah, I want to try to rip through a bunch of these, so if you just want to hear me chat about dumb things, oof, that's what this video is. I'd hoped in my last video to get through quite a few more, but I got stuck, as you may or may not know, on one particular hole that cost quite a few strokes. Oh, so close. So anyway, yeah. I want to talk, I guess, briefly about not being afraid to like the things that you like. And if you're here watching this video, this bland and boring video of some guy playing, is it even 8-bit? I don't know. This very simple game of two-dimensional golf that never seems to end, then I would imagine that you don't have a whole lot of trouble finding the things that you like to do and being okay doing them. When I was a small child, in fact, most of my childhood years were spent being small. But when I was a small child, I loved to read, and I loved coming up with stories and creating characters and new worlds. And I loved living in other people's new worlds. So that meant movies and books and video games. Those were the things that I liked. I loved storytelling. I loved everything that went with it. I wasn't supposed to like those things. I was supposed to like sports because that's what boys like. And my mom, who was always very a great encouragement to me to be myself and to be okay with who I was, also kind of understood that I might have an easier time of it if I had something in common with the other children. So she encouraged me, and by encouraged, I mean she forced me to play sports. She 2 years of Little League. Baseball, if you're not aware of what I mean by Little League. Baseball. I was the second right fielder, and if you don't know anything about baseball, you should know that there is only one right fielder. So when I say second right fielder, I mean center field had to also pretty much cover right field. I didn't do anything. There were dandelions out there. I'm supposed to watch this game when there are dandelions to be pulled? Oh, it was so boring. And for a kid with ADHD, whose mind was constantly telling stories and replaying movies and doing all sorts of things that were so much more interesting than what the world was giving him, how am I supposed to stand out in this field and wait for something to happen? Absolutely not. I have better things to do with my time. I have been accused of not being a good, like time management, not being whatever. Let me rephrase that. As a writer, I should be better with words, right? It has been noted that one of my great weaknesses is time management. But I would counter with this argument. I manage my time quite well. You are just asking me to do things that I don't think are necessary. So, daydreaming has always seemed like a necessary thing for me. Still to this day, I will, if I can't sleep, I'll go, okay, I'll just daydream. I'll just think of a story, and I do. I let my mind run, and I've always been that way as a kid. I always had trouble sleeping because I was coming up with great stories in my head and forgetting about them by the next morning, but that's just how it is. And so me liking the things that I liked, while it was encouraged at home by one parent in particular, it was not really applauded by my peers. I never had a ton of friends. I I never wanted a ton of friends. One or two friends, that was fine. And usually that second friend only because my first friend thought he needed to pad his resume a little bit. And so I was like, all right, fine, he can hang out too. But honestly, I've always been that kid who was like, take me wherever, tell me what to do. I don't care. My mind is going to be on other things. It's just always been that way. Teachers, it drove them absolutely crazy because they knew I was a smart kid. They knew I had potential. I just wasted it according to them. But it never felt wasted to me. I was always somewhere else. I was always on an adventure, I was always I was always with Frodo and Sam, going through Mordor. I was always like with Charlie in his chocolate factory. I was always, tumbling down the hill with James and Centipede and Miss Spider and just always somewhere else, somewhere more interesting. And I mean, I'm sorry, but you start talking to me about math, and I cannot stop the daydreams from coming. I can't. My brain will not accept this mathematical discourse. Oh, we're going to talk about taxes? Great. Sorry. You're going to talk about taxes. I can't. My wife, it drives her absolutely insane. She doesn't understand. She thinks genuinely I'm just not trying. And it's not that. It's if you leave me to do our taxes, it will take me forever and it will be wrong and we'll end up in prison. I'm not making excuses. I have taken medication for this, and it made me emotionally unwell, and I'm already pretty emotionally unstable. But it made my depression far, far worse, and I was unable to write, which oftentimes is my only release. And so I'm reluctant to medicate because of that. Anyway, it's yeah. So I've always just kind of known that the things I like are not the things everybody likes. And if I want to be like everybody else, I'm going to have to do things that I don't like. And so I've learned that, to like myself in spite of what other people think. Sometimes that's hard, but that has been my only option for most of my life. Now, as an adult, I think people find it charming that I'm so quirky and eccentric, but that wears off after a while. I will say this. I don't like being outside. It's not a, icky bugs, ooh, the sun, oh, it's whatever, dirty. It's none of that. I don't know. I've never felt welcome outside. I have very, very pale skin. Yesterday, when we were sitting outside in a park, waiting for the moon to take its rightful place as the queen of the sky, and don't you tell me that that's wrong, because that thing had a crown. It was gorgeous. And I'm telling you, when was the last time people cheered for the sun? Never. They never cheer for the sun. The moon rocked in and everyone was all excited. Anyway, moving on. I got sunburnt. I'm wearing a hooded sweatshirt. I was wearing a hat. I got sunburnt. How is that? How? I go outside and I'm like a freaking vampire. No, I don't like going outside. And I'm developing allergies late in life, which is, that's a real treat. Such a fun thing. As a child, I enjoyed going outside because I had a fort that I built, and I would go wander through the woods behind our house, and I would play and I would make up stories, and it was neat and it was great. I often have my characters go outside. In fact, in Blood Pines and Whithersoever, the majority of the book is spent outside. And so, I don't loathe the outdoors. I just don't do well out there. I just it's not a happy place for me, because it seems so abusive to me. Uh, Water scares me. The sun burns me. I don't know. Um, so all my little weird quirks as an adult at first seem endearing. Endearing enough that my wife married me. But you live with me for 22 years and tell me it doesn't get old. I know it does. I know it gets old. And I apologize to my wife for being a bit of a social burden. But, it's not just that. It's also my weird sense of humor. I find things amusing that other people don't. There was supposed to be significant cloud cover yesterday during the eclipse, and I know there was in some places, and I know that was very upsetting for a lot of people. But we went out to look at this amazing once in a lifetime natural phenomenon, only to be thwarted by a different phenomenon that happens all the effing time. Like that. Like, it'd be like if the queen was passing your house, but you couldn't see her because your fat neighbor was in the way. Like, I just, it was amusing and ironic. And because there's nothing we can do about it, I chose to laugh at the prospect. Well, apparently that was the wrong thing to do. Sorry, that's how I cope. And I'm always going to cope with certain upsetting moments by laughing. It's just, I guess I could cope with them by being furious and being angry. But I don't see how that's any better. So don't think that I'm laughing at you because of your, situation. I'm in the same situation. I just choose to laugh at things. So, I don't know. It does upset some people how casual I view certain things. I get bent out of shape about dumb things. Like, oh, they're ruining Star Wars, or they messed up Harry Potter, or yeah, I get messed up about my stories. I do. Those aggravate me, and people wonder why. You're way too old to be this upset about it. Well, I know, but I'm still upset about it. And then they pass some law that means that they tax people for schools or whatever, and I'm not upset about that because one, nothing I can do about it, and two, I'm happy to pay taxes for schools. Even if my kids weren't in school, even if I wasn't employed by the school, I would be more than happy to pay taxes. Because how often do you go to a fast food drive-through and you get like maybe the wrong change or something, or they mess up your order and you think, oh, are they hiring these stupid teenagers? Yeah, if we were putting more money into our schools, those teenagers would be learning more and they'd be better at their jobs. I want those teenagers to be very smart. It benefits all of us if we all are better educated. Definitely, definitely better for all of us. So no, I don't get bent out of shape about that. But also, I don't know. I can't do anything about it. I can't do anything about how they didn't include Peeves in the Harry Potter movies. But for some reason I still get frustrated about that. I don't know. I don't really get frustrated about that point in particular. More like how Dobby was a bigger part of the whole series than they let on in the movies. Whatever, it's fine though. So I just I like the things I like unapologetically, And I think you should too. So, like, I got these two kids on my bus. They are not adults, but they're old. I think one of them might be an adult. I don't know. I don't clock their ages. One is a sophomore, one is a senior. They're siblings. And they're obsessed with Lego Ninjago, and I've talked about this before, but they're obsessed with Lego Ninjago. And I love that when I look around, I don't see a bunch of teenagers like freaking out about Lego Ninjago, but they do, and they don't care about like anybody else like not liking their thing. They like it. They're fine with it. Whatever. It's great. This is the same family who one of them they were having a dream SMP birthday party, and the middle sibling came to school. Now, one of the sibling whose birthday it was in middle school. The other two were in high school, and the middle sibling came to the high school wearing a crown, a cape, and a pig nose. The whole day. Nobody knew why. It was just on behalf of their little brother. And I'm telling you, those people, like, we need more people like that in the world. People who are just like, yeah, I know you don't understand. I don't care if you understand. I didn't wear this for your applause. I wore this in honor of my little brother. My weird, chaotic baby brother. And that is awesome to me. You know? So like the things that you like, and work up to not being afraid, you know, that other people don't like it. The thing that I hear a lot is, ugh, Fortnite, ugh, Among Us, ugh, Minecraft. Nobody plays Minecraft anymore. Nobody plays Among Us, you know, elementary school kids. This is primarily from elementary school kids. They will pick a game. You know, I'll say something about Among Us, or they'll see somebody's got an Among Us keychain, or, you know, oh, nobody plays Among Us anymore. Oh, that's not true. Lots of people still play Among Us. It's maybe not as popular. Maybe you don't play it, but why should popularity among the masses dictate what the rest of us do? You know, I mean, what difference does it make if no one else is doing it? Nobody plays desert golf. So, I don't really, I don't need a team. It's not a team sport. It's really just one guy, one Matt, smacking the ball around. That sounded weird. Do your thing. If you need an audience, it might not actually be your thing. That being said, I'm very aware that I am playing this game for an audience. But if you're only doing it, like, I can't tell you how many times I want to play this game, but I won't because I'm not in a position to make a video about it. I want to play it, but I'm also very committed to finishing out the 10,000 holes. I guarantee you, as soon as I hit that 10,000th hole and I finish this video series, I will start the game over. I probably won't. I may make videos once in a while, but it won't be consecutive holes. I don't know if anybody's even paying attention to the holes. I don't think that even matters. But if you need an audience in order to do your thing, then it maybe... Oh, did we? Did not do it. We didn't. Oh, so close. It may not be as much your thing. Now, if it's something like I put on plays or I'm, perform in a band, yeah, you kind of got to have an audience. Sometimes it's Sometimes it's the audience that drives you, that makes the thing worthwhile. Like I've said before with my bus, I don't drive a bus because I'm a big fan of diesel engines. I'm a big fan of kids. I'm a big fan of those kids on my bus. Specifically those kids, not like kids in general, youth culture, huzzah. because I swear if I hear one more person say skibbity, I'm gonna choke them out, and then I'll be in prison. So I'll stop making videos, and you'll know why. But those specific kids, and I could name every single one of them right now, but I'm not gonna because that's a privacy issue. I've already named a few, and that's probably not cool, but it is what it is. But anyway, moving on past that. I just think that you do your thing. I remember there were kids in my school when I was growing up who were really, really into Doctor Who. There were two kids. Only two. I tried. It was on PBS. I tried to get into it, and I just was like, this is not as good as Star Wars. And I just didn't get into it. If I had maybe had, oh man, if I'd maybe had somebody there to explain it to me, in terms that were understandable, I think my brother might have tried to explain it to me once, but he was not a patient guy, and I didn't like him, so I wasn't listening. If I'd had someone to maybe explain what a Time Lord was, or how any of this worked, or maybe I could have gotten into it. We didn't have those people. We didn't have, there were two kids, and I was in elementary school. I couldn't go hang out with Shane and Mark. They lived, I lived out in the middle of nowhere, and they lived not. So those two guys, they didn't need anyone else to like Doctor Who. They pursued it with confidence. And I'll tell you what, kids respected the heck out of them because they liked their thing, and they were personable, and they were patient and kind. Now, why didn't they like me when I liked my things? Because I was psychotic. I was such a hyper kid. I remember trying to glue a kid to his chair using rubber cement. I thought it was hysterical. But then he was just mad at me. And he was a friend. And he was mad at me for a long time because you put glue on my pants. And yes, now I see the error. But at the time I was like, but it's funny. If I'd done this to somebody else, he also wouldn't have thought it was funny. He was actually a really kind kid. And I was dumb. And I was supposed to be his friend. And I see now that I'm going, this is therapy right here, that I probably made him question a lot of his relationships. Oh my goodness, I'm a bad person. That's why people didn't like me, because I think, here it is. Oh my goodness. Therapy. You ready? Here we go. I never saw myself as important, so I never saw that my actions had the potential to hurt people. It's like taking a fresh, clean tissue out of the box, wadding it up loosely, and throwing it at someone. There is no way that would hurt them. That would be just a playful gesture. And so that is, I think, how I viewed the majority of my interactions with people as harmless and playful gestures. Because I've never seen myself as an individual with any clout. People do not pay attention to me. They do not listen to me. And I think it's because I don't expect them to. And ever so often, when someone does stop long enough to hear me, and I say something worth saying, I think people are genuinely surprised. And I think, people read my books and they're like, whoa, that was really good. It was really powerful and deep. I think they're surprised because they don't expect anything like that from me. So, yeah, that's interesting. Maybe that's why I always questioned whether or not I should even like the things that I liked, because I believed everyone else more than I believed myself. And that's, I can't blame other people if I'm doing it, right? I don't want to be a hypocrite. Ugh, I hate breakthroughs because now I got to think about that all freaking day. Oh my. Oh well. Oh well. Oh my. I'm gonna sink this hole and I think I'm gonna go get something to eat. You guys want anything? I'm gonna be in the kitchen, you know, make a. I was gonna say a sandwich, but I'm trying not to eat too much bread. I'm trying to lose some weight. Yeah, I was getting chonky again, getting chonky, and I'm running out of pants that fit. That's not good. In the winter, it's okay if you have pants that don't fit. Like you can tighten your belt buckle, and kind of cinch your waist real good. But in the summer, that's not comfortable. Like that hurts. It's abrasive. It like if you're a bigger fella, you know what I'm talking about. You want pants that fit, but not pants that you have to wrestle. Wait, did anything I say make sense? Did I say all the wrong things? Okay, so I'm trying to lose a couple inches at the waist. We'll just say that, and then I'll have pants that I don't have to. Whatever, it's fine. I'm fat, okay? I'm trying not to be. I better stop here. I'm getting emotional. Thank you so much for watching. I love you guys. We're going to do more of these speed run videos, and I'm going to see how much more nonsense I can spout. Thank you. I love you. Bye-bye.